Want to make a guess, like out of the 2 years after MO, how many resale transactions? 115. The next one is the crazy one. Out of 115, how many units make more than $1 million in profit? Out of the 115, make more than $1 million.
Oh, wow.
Right,
That's
so
insane.
this is crazy. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Haikal and Titus Honest Truth, HTHT. In today's episode, I think a lot of people will be very interested in what we are going to talk about, right? Which is something quite bold, Haikal, right? Which is how can actually one person make $1 million in property within 5 years.
Wow, not bad. Sounds very good. Don't need to buy Toto to become a millionaire anymore. But before we proceed on with the video, so if you guys like our content so far, remember to like, share and subscribe so that we can do better videos for you guys and you guys can also earn $1 million in 5 years.
Yes, so a lot of people will hear this and then ask this question, right? Is it even realistic or not? Come on guys, what are you talking about? So how are we going to do this today? To show examples of how people, right, have earned $1 million through their property in the past maybe 5 to 6 years.
How many examples do you have, Titus?
We are going to go through 6 examples.
Wow, a lot.
Right? A lot of people have done it, but we're going to pick out these 6 examples. And the reason why we are doing this is because some of our viewers have reached out to us, right, asking whether in today's market, can I still earn money in property, right? So instead of just sharing theory and opinions, right, what we want to do is to really take someone's success case story to share with our viewers, people who have actually made more than $1 million in profit.
So basically, we will share with you guys that how they have done it and why these properties have made $1 million so that you can also replicate the same success for your own self.
Yeah, so we will also be highlighting some of the common traits we see throughout this case study. Okay, so before we go in any further, we really just want to say again, thank you for supporting our video. It's very meaningful for us to come online every week to share with you our views on property, and through this kind of fun kind of content, right? We hope that you have benefited. So if you do have any question, do scan our QR code and get in touch with us. And after this episode, if you make $1 million, maybe just buy us coffee lah. Okay, so let's jump straight right into it, Haikal. What is the first example? What is the first project or condo we have?
So first, what we wanted to share is Treasure at Tampines.
Big project.
So if you go back to our launch day for Treasure at Tampines, they did not do well at all.
10% sold on first day.
So in today's context, 10% means your project is lousy.
Yeah, people sell 80, 90, 97 kind of crazy take-up rates.
Correct. So 10% is considered super low. It is a mega project.
Yes.
Regardless in terms of percentage, it looks very bad lah. So basically, if you know Treasure at Tampines, it is not near any MRT.
Nope.
So some people might consider this ulu project lah.
No more. Only got the Tampines round market. Not really have, don't really have anything besides the round market.
Correct. So basically, in terms of launch prices, I think it averaged about 1.2k PSF back in 2019. So at that point in time, when it's so far for MRT, then it's a mega development. A lot of people say 1.2k PSF, it's overpriced, it's expensive.
So if we look at 7 years later in Tampines, binary residents average around 2005 PSF. Remember, Treasures at Tampines average 1.2.
Correct.
So about double. Then Resale EC also maybe around 1008 PSF.
EC,
Yeah, EC versus. So 1.2 suddenly today, it becomes very cheap.
Super cheap, super cheap.
So back to Treasures at Tampines, right? This particular unit is a 5-bedroom unit, 1722 square feet, right? It was sold in 2025 for 2.9 million. So we want to take a little bit of, we went digging a bit. So the owner actually bought at 1136 PSF in July 2019.
Wow.
And it sold at 1735 PSF in May 2025. So a holding period around 5 years plus, making a profit of 1,032,000.
So if we think about it, right? Ulu co-location,
Yes.
mega development. Some people say mega development not good because
Yes.
Sims crowded and everything. Despite all these pain points, they still made $1 million. So we also want to understand how is it possible that a condo with all these bad traits are able to make $1 million, Titus.
So when we look at Treasures at Tampines, we must first understand this location, this condo. Basically, there is no premium facing. There's no view on Treasures at Tampines. There's only 3 views. You face PIE, which is the worst view.
Okay?
You face the HDB, which is the not so jialat view.
Not bad.
And then the best view is actually the pool view, but then you face your neighbor. So there isn't any unblocked view in Treasures at Tampines. Right? Interestingly, for this unit, right, the facing is the driveway. Right? It faces the drive-in and drive-out of the cars, but still managed to make $1 million. So this facing that this particular unit have, right, is definitely not the best, but also not the worst lah.
Okay.
Because I would say the worst facing is the highway facing lah.
Because noisy lah basically.
So we need to understand how come, right, this unit make more than $1 million, which is one thing that we want to reintroduce. In some of our videos, we have talked before this term called developer pricing strategy. We need to understand how the sellers, which is the developer, price their unit. So Haikal, do you want to share with the viewers out there what is this developer pricing strategy about?
Okay, so realistically, developers cannot price everything the same.
Yeah.
They cannot price their 1-bedder and their 4-bedder all the same PSF lah basically. So developers do need a certain strategy so that they can earn the most money. At the end of the day, they are a business lah.
So low floor, high floor also cannot be the same lah.
Correct. So
good facing, not so good facing also cannot be the same. But then, as we mentioned, Treasures at Tampines don't have really very fantastic facing, and it's only a 12-story high condo.
Correct.
So in terms of the per level loading, right, also cannot do too much. So in this case, what did the Treasures at Tampines developer do?
So first is the unit type loading. So at launch, the smaller units were priced around 1.3 to 1.4k PSF, while the larger units are priced about 1.2k PSF.
So they load more on the smaller one.
Correct. So times have changed. Now in today's context, developers are pricing the bigger units at a higher PSF, but back then for Treasure at Tampines, the smaller units were the one that had a higher PSF.
Okay.
Then second is the 3-phase strategy. So
Which is what the developer adopted this time around very aggressively.
So for phase 1 basically, right, there's 3 phases. For phase 1 is when it's just started basically. When the units are moving quite slow.
Yes.
So developer has a lot of supply. They cannot price their units too high.
They're scared lah.
Yes. So because at the end of the day, if the units are priced too high, no one buy, it's even worse for them. Right? So for them, they have to price strategically at phase 1 where the units are slightly cheaper. And then when they move on to phase 2,
Usually about more than 50%?
yes. So maybe they have sold about half their inventory, then they will start to increase their price by a bit, maybe about 2 to 4%. Right, then when they start selling more and more units, basically we are going into phase 3 where maybe there's about 10% of units left.
They howling already lah.
Yes, they are more confident. Then that's where they will whack the price and then they'll increase the price, maybe even up to 10%.
Yep.
So these are the 3 phases. Basically phase 1, if you can enter, that's the best possible time and the cheapest you can get lah. Then at phase 3, you pay more expensive, but at the same time, you might have a unit that's facing the rubbish chute. Yeah, so these are the challenges that I think buyers face when they're in the market.
So coming back to this unit, right, you see during the developer's sale from 2019 to 2022, the cheapest 5-bedroom units sold at 1092 per square feet. So this unit that make $1 million actually bought in at phase 1 where the developer had fear. Remember, cheapest unit 1092. This unit bought at 1136. So around $40 above the cheapest unit. So it's really on the very, very low range.
Correct.
Then we take in reference the highest 5-bedder unit, right, was at 1,403 per square feet.
It's about 300 PSF difference.
300 PSF, you times about 1,500 square feet, that's almost like 450,000. Close to $500,000 difference. We want to share the 4 common factors that this unit have, right, that make it earn more than $1 million. So number 1, right, like we mentioned, enter when developer has a little bit of fear, right, when prices are kept in phase 1 low, right, and make sure you buy below average PSF.
Important.
Right? You don't want to be the one that pay $500,000 more for the same thing. Number 3 is rarity, right? So I think in one of our videos, we did a content on how to buy rare units. What is rare units, right? So if you have not watched it, please make sure you watch our video. But maybe Haikal can explain a bit more on rarity.
So rarity basically boils down to supply, basically, right? So in this context, if you look at 1 kilometer of Treasure at Tampines, I think there are very little 5-bedders.
Only the Simei East Point side.
Yes, and there are just 8 units down there, right? So basically, if you expand across Tampines, maybe there are a few more condos that have 5-bedders, right? So I think in total, there are about less than 100 5-bedders in the whole Tampines
Back
now.
in 2019.
Correct.
Yep.
So basically now you can see that for 5-bedders, supply are low. Basically, it's a very rarity commodity in the area.
And Tampines is a very big town.
Yes.
So the demand of people who wants a big unit is there, but then there's no supply.
Correct.
Right, which makes the price of the big units
Yes.
rare and people are willing to pay more.
Yes. And Tampines is a own state area. So that's why 5 beders are very, very important.
Okay. The last thing that we want to mention about this Treasures at Tampines unit is the selling price. It was sold in May 2025 for 2.98 million.
Wow.
So the question is, why is this resale buyer willing to pay this almost 3 million, right, for a 5-bedroom in Treasures at Tampines, right? Resale.
Yes.
That means second owner.
So I think if you look back to February 2025, that's when Parc Town was launched.
Okay.
Yeah, so Parc Town is basically an integrated development. If you look at the cheapest 5-bedder, right, it was sold at I think 3.84 million.
Almost a million more than Treasures at Tampines.
Correct. So that is a huge price gap. Right. So I think which now makes the resale unit over at Treasure at Tampines very, very cheap.
Yeah lah, because 1 million, 100,000, I think people can stretch lah. 1 million really cannot miss, cannot lah.
Correct. So even though Parc Town maybe is integrated,
Yes.
but because the price gap is now so
Too big.
right, I think it makes Treasure at Tampines more appealing than what people realize.
So we do a quick recap on our first example. The 4 winning factors, right? Number 1, buy when developer has fear, where the prices are kept low. You enter at a PSF that is average or below average, that would be best, right? Buy something that is rare.
Yes.
And also the price gap that is created by new launches around the area, right, that will help you stage up your price.
Super important.
So these are the 4 winning factors of this unit at Treasures at Tampines. Let's move on to the west, right?
Okay, wow. Now we go from the east to the west. And in the west, what we have is Clairvon.
Yeah, some famous property influencers' favorite project in the
really?
west.
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't
the
realize
Huat
that.
Kueh leader.
So if you know Clairvon, right, actually there's also nothing special. Why do we say so? Because half of the development face the highway.
Wow, from PIU we go AYE.
Correct. So basically, it's a constant white noise. A lot of people say confirm lose money. Then it's not even near MRT.
Yes, 800 meters away
Yes.
from
So if
Clementi.
you walk, it's about I think a 12 minutes walk.
But the thing is, it's near the Nanhua
High.
Secondary.
Yeah. So it's not the primary school. Okay. Don't get scammed by this.
Yeah, so this 5-bedder unit in Clairvon that make more than $1 million, right? It purchased at 1,652 square feet back in 2021. And it sold at around 2,300 per square feet, right, in January 2026. It make a profit of 1,068,000 over a period of 4 years, 7 months. So just now we mentioned no school, no MRT, facing highway. Seems like a recipe for disaster.
Correct.
But how come can make 1,068,000?
Property is so confusing, right? So now we look at what is the winning factor for Clairvon. Right, so basically yet again we go to supply, which is what we mentioned the rarity in the previous example. Within 1 kilometer of Clairvon, before Elta was launched, there was basically no comparable 5-bedders in the market.
Yep.
Right, I think only one was I think Park Condominium, and they were just 9 units, and the size was about I think 2433 square feet.
Big
It sounds super big lah.
And it's a freehold project, so there is a little bit of premium on the freehold status. But when we say 2433, right, we want to also take a look at the layout, right, which is something that is very important, because if you look at Clairvon itself, you will not understand the beauty unless you put the layout of this park condo, right? Then you will understand what we are trying to say.
Correct. So I think if we were to compare the layout side by side, I think 20% of the unit over at Park Condominium, right, is planter box, bay window, and
You see, we highlighted everything.
balcony. Might even be more than 20% for the looks of things.
Yeah.
So basically what you're paying for, right, this 20 to even 25% is not livable space. You cannot do anything. You can maybe put a cushion lah, but you're paying for space that you cannot use.
So out of 2,400 square feet, I would say easily maybe 800 square feet is the
Possibly.
not livable space lah. So the winning factor for Clairvon is very, very obvious. A lack of supply in the area combined with efficient layout that newer projects have, though they might be smaller in size, but then definitely the layout more efficient.
Correct.
Right? Because for the park condo, you're going to buy 2,400 square feet, even though you can use maybe 1,600, 1,700 only. But you have to pay for 2,004 square feet prices.
Yes, correct.
So we all prefer big, the bigger the better. But now I think people are so savvy, right? They want something that is worth every penny.
Something that makes sense lah, basically.
Efficient.
Yes, correct. So now we'll move on on to another project in the west, which is called Parc Clematis.
Also not near the MRT, but the difference is it's 1 kilometer now to the Nanhua Primary School.
Yes.
So we have seen 5 transactions that have achieved $1 million of profit or more. 3 of them are 5-bedder, which is very expected because just now when we say, you buy something big, rare, you will have a higher chance to make more money. And then if the per square feet increase like by $10, you have a bigger floor plate, it's easier. So we are not going to talk about the 5-bedder.
So now we're going to talk about the 3-bedder at Parc Clematis. So just now we keep talking about 5-bedder like what Titus had mentioned. Now the 3-bedder over at Parc Clematis is sized at 1076 square feet.
Standard size?
Yes. And they purchased in 2019 at a PSF of 1626 PSF, which is around the average PSF of about 1648 over at Parc Clematis at that point in time. With the highest being about 2000 PSF for the 3-bedders.
So same thing, buy at average or below average.
Yes. Then fast forward to last year, the unit was sold in August 2025 at 2.6 PSF. And this actually happened right after Elta was launched.
So Elta's average PSF of launch was around 2006, with the highest for Elta reaching around 2009.
Yes, correct.
So I think it's the same thing, right? We just want to share examples that can reiterate the common traits, right? Number 1 is to buy at average or below average PSF.
Yep.
And number 2, like Treasures and Tampines at Park Town, right? So now it's Parc Clematis and Elta, right? So Elta kind of helped to stage up the price for the Parc Clematis resale sellers to earn more money.
Correct. So I think with a new accepted pricing, slowly the resale will catch up as well. So I think you can consider resale, but be aware of what is your entry price at the end of the day.
Now we are going to leave the west and we are going to around central, right? Which is near Bishan.
Yes.
Right? We are going to Jadescape, and whenever I talk to clients about Jadescape, right, they're very scared because they say very expensive.
I think the price have moved a lot the past few years because of how popular and how nice the place is, to be honest. I think if you look back at the launch price back in 2018, it was as low as 1,003.
Okay, cheap.
Super cheap. Now cannot get such PSF. Now the project has achieved almost double. Right? I think the highest PSF now is about 2.6 PSF.
8 years 8 years from 2003 to 2006.
Correct. So now 2006 basically gets you Tampines like what we mentioned recently.
Yeah, Binary, right? Or even, what's that? Elta.
Yes.
Right? So there are 17 transactions that make more than $1 million, right? Wow. So we also want to take a look at the 3-bedroom. Of course, the highest profit is 4.35, but it's a penthouse, right? We want to look at something that is mass market kind.
Correct.
So we are looking at a 3-bedroom unit, 1055 square feet. Bought in 2019, right? Just slightly in the phase 1 category as well. 1615 per square feet, and then sold for 2588 in December 2025. Right? $1 million over a period of probably slightly over 5 years.
And yet again, right, if you were to look, this is not a premium facing unit. Right? It faces the HDB with a tennis court in front.
Yeah, and on the one side, I think it's on the left side.
Yes.
It's Marymount Road.
Correct. So
which is a lot of construction now.
Yes, which is very noisy at the moment. But yet again, you can see here a 3-bedder with bed facing, able to achieve $1 million in profit.
Why?
Right. So if you want to understand what has happened, I think this project launched, like we mentioned, in September 2018. Right, the 3-bedder in terms of PSF was about 1.4 to as high as 1.8, close to 1.9 PSF actually. Right, this unit was bought at 1.6, which is basically below average of the unit. So at this point, you can see that there's a pattern to all these cases, right? I think first of all, like what we have always mentioned, your entry price point is important.
Yes.
And you have to buy below the average.
Yep.
So be aware of what is the average in that development. But of course, if you want to embark in your own $1 million journey in this property journey, remember to scan our QR code and we will share with you what are the winning products out there in the market today. Then we can win together.
Yes, voila.
Yes.
Okay, so we are not just saying that entry price is the only factor, right? Because like we just now mentioned, layout, the supply demand,
correct.
Which all these things really, if you are not in the business, right, day to day, you don't have that sensitivity to all this data.
It's hard lah.
It's very difficult
Correct.
For a normal person who is not in the market to really understand all these things, right? And we do have apps that can help us to get all this information a lot faster.
Correct.
So remember to scan our QR code, and we are traveling back to the east to Eunos MRT, and we are going to talk about Parc Esta. Right, Parc Esta, interesting. It was a ex-HUDC,
Yep.
right, opposite directly opposite Eunos MRT. Basically, those who are not familiar, you cross the traffic light, you reach Eunos MRT.
Very convenient.
Okay, so Parc Esta recorded 8 transactions exceeding $1 million in profit, right? 7 of them are 4-bedder. The highest profit came from a 5-bedder at 1.29 million profit. Actually very sick. 1.29 million in a period of 5-6 years is very, very sick.
Basically, every year you're earning about 200k.
That's like bonus of like 12 months bonus or 15 months bonus.
Don't need work really. Every year is your bonus basically.
Okay, go back to this 5-bedder unit, Haikal.
Right, so this 5-bedder unit is 1399 square feet. I think they bought in 2018 at the PSF of 1.6 PSF.
2.3 million.
Correct. Then fast forward to today, 2026, it was sold for a PSF of 2.5, which come out to a price of 3.6 million.
So Parc Esta has 1,399 units, right? And we want to know the area. If you are not familiar, over the area, there's almost 150 to 200 condos, right? Or even more. But the thing is, most of them are small developments, maybe like 30 to 40 units averaging.
Correct. So on paper, there's a lot of supply, but you also have to understand what type of supply.
Different ball game.
Correct. So I think the closest and similar condo to Parc Esta is basically U Habitat, and at the same time Park Place over at Paya Lebar MRT.
One MRT station down.
Correct.
So U Habitat, 748 units, right? A project that TOP in 26 is about 1 kilometer away from Eunos MRT, right? While Parc Esta, just now mentioned, directly opposite Eunos MRT.
Correct.
So just now we mentioned Parc Esta bought at 1.6 PSF, around 2.3 million for a 1399 square feet unit.
Yes.
So around the same time, U Habitat, around 1,500 square feet unit, right, for a 4-bed resale was going at 1.78. So there is a price difference of almost 500,000. 2.3 million for Parc Esta and then 1.7 million for U Habitat. 500,000 difference.
Correct.
On surface, if we go back to the Treasures and Parktown example, then a lot of people will buy U Habitat, right? Then why people still go for Parc Esta and Parc Esta did so well?
So if you look at the layout for U Habitat, 1582 square feet, sadly, almost 30% of it is your balcony and outdoor space, which is not useful because what can you do with it? Maybe exercise.
Shuttle run.
Yeah, do your shuttle run, your
Napfa
fitness
test.
Besides that, there's really nothing you can do because people can ask you to put zip track, but at the end of the day, you're not going to put a bed there.
Yep.
It's pointless.
So back to same example of Clairvon versus Park Condo, right? The layout, it matters lah. Price, entry price, supply demand, and then we double click, triple click down into the layout comparison.
Correct. So since we mentioned that the pricing for Park Place and Park Esta are very similar, but Park Place has a mall and integrated.
Yes.
So people should be going for Park Place instead of Park Esta, right?
Ideally lah, Paya Lebar, and then you have mall, you have MRT, you have a lot more leh. You have PFQ 1, 2, 3, SingPost, you got Paya Lebar Square.
So what's the issue here with Park Place is we have to look at the layout yet again. Right? So if you look at Park Place 3-bedder, 1367 square feet, very good size, to be honest with you.
3-bedder, very big.
Correct. But
then
the outdoor space yet again, this looks like it's almost 50% of the whole unit. It's getting more and more ridiculous, these developers, because all this outdoor space, they do not have to pay for it. But you as a buyer, you have to end up paying for this kind of space which are not livable yet again.
Yes.
So I think what we are trying to say here is sometimes don't look at the size, understand what's the livable space, because at the end of the day, if you're going to pay for something that is not useful, it's harder for you to exit in your future as well.
So this is the exact reason why the government, URA, has come up with this so-called GFA harmonization to standardize the definition of buildings, right, across all government bodies.
Correct.
And also to make the layout more efficient.
We have definitely seen an improvement of layout right now in the market, which is better for buyers out there like yourself.
So for Parc Esta, the winning factor, we have confirmed a few things, right? The size of the unit, the size of the development increase the chances of $1 million profit, right? Because you need a big unit, you need a big size.
Correct.
But beyond Parc Esta, right, we also have seen time and time again, your neighbor analysis is so critical. You must know your surrounding. You cannot just go into this project and then look at this project. You must be able to look 1 kilometer or even like Park Place, Parc Esta, right? The difference is 1 MRT station away, right? You have to analyze all these things. So of course, don't just see the numbers. 900 square feet, I cannot accept. I want 1,500 square feet because I just want.
Big .
You must see the layout, right? To see the efficiency of the space.
So we'll go on and share our last project.
Oh, this project crazy, I tell you.
I think this project made a lot of headlines when they first MOP.
Yes.
So maybe you already know we're going to talk about 100 pumps.
Yes. Want to make a guess, like out of the 2 years after MOP, right? How many resale transactions?
60, 70?
115.
Wow. Almost
And
double
we don't
what I
need to say
guessed.
profitable, non-profitable because confirm all profitable.
Correct.
The next one is the crazy one. Out of 115, how many units make more than $1 million in profit?
Wow. 150, I guess about maybe 20%, so about 20, 30 units.
53 out of the 115 make more than $1 million.
Oh, that's 50
Almost
plus
50%.
Wow.
Right?
That's
So
insane.
this is crazy.
So we also want to understand why are there so many $1 million profits over 100 pumps, which is an EC, and the location is not say ideal lah, because it's
Yes.
technically in Hougang or Upper Serangoon lah.
Yes. So a few things on the surface to identify this why lah. Why is 100 pumps so crazy? 1 kilometer to good school, Resale,
Resale.
right? Walking distance to upcoming Serangoon North MRT.
Correct.
And the most critical thing, entry price. How much was the average PSF they bought in 2017?
800 PSF. This is a PSF of a HDB in 2026. Just
Wow.
to put things in the context.
800.
Because I think not all ECs will perform similar to what 100 pumps
Yes.
have performed basically in the resale market. So besides the school, MRT and entry price,
Yes.
right, I think we also want to understand
The neighborhood.
the neighborhood. And I think 100 pumps would like to say a big thank you to the developers of Affinity at
Yes.
Serangoon for supporting their cause to earn $1 million lah.
Okay, because this is a neighborhood analysis, right? Affinity are also a very, very big project. 1,057 units, right? In the resale market, averaging around 1,790 per
Okay.
square feet,
Yep.
whereby XEC, 100 pumps have exceeded the private condo resale transaction at 1,843 and breaking even 2,055 highest PSF transacted in 100 pumps.
Wow.
The highest in Affinity, right, which is a private condo, haven't even hit 2,000 PSF.
So there must be something wrong with Affinity because in terms of proximity, they are about I think less than 2 kilometers
Yes.
from each other. Right. So yet again, we look at the layout. So what has happened here, right? So I think for 100 pumps layout is quite standard, right? You have your tuck-away kitchen, your bedrooms. Okay, there's a normal entryway into the development as well. There's nothing weird about the 3-bedder layout lah, basically.
Yes. I seriously believe that a lot of buyers went to Affinity to take a look before looking at 100 pumps. Because 100 pumps need to wait for 5 years MOP mah. But Affinity don't need mah because
Brand
it's a
new.
private condo. And Affinity private condo, 1,000 over projects, the facilities, the landscaping will be a lot better lah.
Yes.
But the issue is the layout of the 3-bedder in Affinity, right? They really sabo themselves and then the buyers from Affinity. This is what I think. Because let Haikal show you the layout.
So I think you are definitely right, Titus. In terms of the layout at Affinity, the 3-bedder size is 958. So it's quite standard for 3-bedder with no utility, no yard. But the issue here is you see a galley kitchen. So galley kitchen typically we see in 1-bedders. 2-bedders. But for a 3-bedder in an area where it's known for own stay, is
difficult.
very, very bad. Right? Then we move on to the 904 square feet. What you see here is the layout of the kitchen.
Oh, this one also don't know. You open door, you cook finish, then you walk into the kitchen.
So it's just very weird. We typically don't have this type of layout for 3-bedder. So I'm not sure what the developer is trying to do here, but I think when you move in and you see the resale units, when you go for viewing, is not the best for 3-bedder definitely.
Yes, still got one more.
Then the last one is 1152. So on paper, the size is very, very good. Right? But when you see the kitchen, like what?
Same open door, kitchen.
What-
But
what
got
is
one
this?
more. Don't know what is that in the middle of the kitchen.
It's like an island, but it's like half. Like want to be an island or want to be a coffee table. We also do not know lah.
Yes.
But it just doesn't make sense, the whole layout.
So really for Affinity, right, all the 3-bedders do not have a normal layout. And then if you will look at 100 pumps layout, very acceptable for a family-owned stay.
Correct.
So if I'm a resale buyer, right, I want to stay in my family near Resale, near MRT, whatever, right, will I buy Affinity or will I buy 100 pumps?
Definitely we go to 100 pumps.
So that is the reason why the performance at 100 pumps, right, was so crazy. Of course, the project is good. Near MRT, near Resale, entry price is good.
Yep.
But I think this neighbor of Affinity actually helped 100 pumps owner, right?
Correct. So if you look at the 100 pumps layout for the 3-bedder, their smallest is about 883. So definitely smaller than Affinity at 958 square feet. So if you look at the layout, this is super standard, right, is nice and practical. So having a boring layout, right, works. Don't need to
Yes.
be so fanciful. You put your kitchen like what Affinity tried to do. The more you do, right, I think the more issues will come out of it, basically.
So we have come to almost the end of our video, but we want to do a very quick summary across the 6 projects. What are the common winning factors?
Correct. So I think first is definitely the entry price. Always buy at the average or slightly below average, so that when you exit further down in the future, it's easier for you.
Yeah, of course, if you are lucky enough, buy the lowest lah.
Correct.
But we are not. But we don't want to base on luck.
Yes. Right. So I think next is also knowing how the developers are going to price their unit at new launch. Right. So sometimes they can have the 3-phase strategy like Treasure at Tampines. Sometimes they will load you based on unit
The
type.
height.
Yes, and also high floor, low floor. So and different facing.
Yes.
Premium facing versus non-premium facing. So knowing your developer pricing strategy, I think is important.
Yes, definitely.
So that you can maximize your profitability lah, basically when you exit down the road. Then next, third one is rarity, or basically we would like to call it supply. So the rarer your product is among your neighbors, not just in a development, even within 1 kilometer or even 2 kilometers of it, your area is the best, so that when you sell, you are the only one selling, so that you have all the demand coming to you. Right. So this is important.
Okay, and number 4 will be the layout. I think
Yes.
in this video we have seen enough examples of what a basic, good, standard layout can do compared to a big or creative layout.
Inefficient.
So number 5 will be having new launches around the area. So look out for the area that you're buying, whether there's any GLS or new developments that's coming up.
Correct.
Typically, when there's a new launches, they launch at high price, right? It will help you push up your... And of course, number 6 is to know the price gap with your surrounding project, right? If there is a huge gap and a more efficient layout, right, there will be a very good high chance for you to earn your $1 million profit.
So I think with these 6 steps, right, is what we usually apply for all our clients when they come to us for consultation. Because I think without these 6 steps, it'd be very hard for you to understand which development, and then you're just ending up going the whole Singapore and seeing everything is quite tiring lah. So if you have any questions with regards to whether it's resale or new launch, do scan our QR code and let us know. And we can have a sit down and then we share with you these 6 steps that we will provide for you.
So if you want to start embarking on your $1 million profit through your property, right, don't guess. So just scan our QR code and let's work together to see whether there are opportunities that suit your personal objective and goals. That is the most important. And if you really what after we talk, then maybe just buy us a coffee. So we have come to the end of our video of Haikal Titus Honest Truth. HTHT. Thank you. Do like, share and subscribe and share this with your friends and family members. We see you in the next episode.
Bye.